Good evening, everybody. It's once again Ted the Speed Learner, and tonight I'm going to introduce you to the Universal Product Code. I'll tell you its whole history and everything else. Alright, but before I do, I'm probably one of the rare few YouTube personalities on the YouTube platform that will never go, "Oh, please, 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 please like my video. And if you would be ever so kind as to subscribe to my channel, which will cause all my videos to be shared all over the platform." Let me tell you something. That ain't going to work. And I'll tell you why. Because YouTube cannot determine what they need to determine, which is whether my videos are keeping you guys on their platform by the use of the like buttons and the subscribe buttons, okay? Now, why do these people tell you this? Well, number one, it extends the watch time on their videos, which I'll tell you a little later why that would have an effect. But anyway, the other thing is that the like button itself, you could flip through things all day long, just go like. It's not going to tell YouTube anything, okay? Now, as for the subscribe button, that's a little different story. Have you noticed that when you hit the subscribe button now, this little menu pops up and it sets your bell notifications? There you go. That's why they're telling you that. Now, the bell notifications might tell YouTube something about how popular your channel is, and they might want to share your videos because of it. Okay? But what will cause YouTube to share your videos? Well, there are two things you can... Well, first of all, if people like you who are watching these videos right now were to copy the URL of the video and share it on a different social media platform like Facebook, what used to be Twitter, now is X, Gab, you got Truth Social, Instagram, Threads, whatever you want to share it on, that would get your video shared more, okay? Number two, when you increase the watch time of the video, then YouTube gets an indication that people are actually watching the whole thing and not just watching bits and pieces and jump cutting through everything in your video. So that is a good indication. The other thing you could do, okay, is you can leave very nice comments in the comments section below. And what that tells them is you were engaged, you watched, you replied, you really liked the content that you were watching, and that helps your ratings as well. So really what you really want to do if you want to increase, if you want to motivate YouTube to share your videos more often, watch the videos all the way through. Well, not you, but I mean your audience needs to watch the videos all the way through, increasing the watch time of every single one of your videos, or have them leave nice comments in the comment section below so that YouTube can see for themselves that, gee, this is a video we want to share all over the platform. And there you go. And another thing I need to mention real quick before we resume our video is that I have published 5 Kindle books. They're $5 a piece. If you want a copy of any of these Kindle books, just leave me a comment in the comment section below and I'll send you a hyperlink to my latest book, which you now can see on the screen. And then from there you can find my other 4 Kindle books, and there will be more Kindle books coming soon. It's all up to you. Buy them and let me know what you think about them. Alright, on to the video. Okay, let's get into this, shall we? Now, how many of you people, and I know that some stores do still use them, but it's very rare now when you see a store actually use a pricing gun. How many people have ever actually used a pricing gun? Oh boy. Okay, well, I happen to remember it very, very well. I remember the ink rollers that got more ink on my hands than the stickers that it produced. Do you recall removing the stickers from your hands when they wouldn't stick to the merchandise? Need I say more? So who saved the world from the pricing gun? Well, that honor would belong to a guy by the name of Mr. Joe Woodland. Joe Woodland. So what did Mr. Joe Woodland actually do? Well, years and years ago, Mr. Woodland was sitting on a beach in Miami, Florida. Why was he there? Well, he was there because he was staying with his grandpa. Now, you got to keep in mind that he had just come from Pennsylvania to stay with his grandpa in his grandpa's apartment in Miami. Alright, so what was Mr. Woodland doing when he was in Miami? Well, he went to a beach and he started playing in the sand. Okay? And what he did was he put his fingers in a specific way and he started drawing what would actually become the foundation of the Universal Product Code. So, why did Mr. Woodland develop this idea? Well, we'll have to ask somebody else that question. The person we need to talk to is a very unhappy supermarket manager. One day shortly after World War II, this supermarket manager had an in-depth discussion with the then dean of the Drexel Institute of Technology. This dean could have cared less about the frustrations of this supermarket manager. But someone overheard their conversation. So who was this wonderful person that actually overheard the conversation? Oh, you're going to love this. The guy's name was Bernard Silver. There you go, Bernard Silver. Okay. Now, Bernard Silver had recently graduated from the Drexel Institute of Technology in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Remember, that's where Mr. Woodland had come from? Well, at that time, Mr. Silver was just too busy to help develop a technology for the supermarket manager. But Bernard Silver knew somebody who wasn't quite so busy and would most likely be interested in such a task. And that honor fell to Mr. Woodland. Well, of course, Mr. Woodland jumped at the opportunity. So he left Philadelphia in the winter of 1948, moved in with his grandfather in his grandfather's apartment in Miami, Florida. And time and time again, he would visit a beach near his grandfather's apartment, and he began to think about something called Morse code. Ever heard of that? Well, he learned Morse code as a Boy Scout. Well, one day Mr. Woodland tried to punch dots into the sand at the beach, and he didn't pull his fingers away as he should have. Instead, he drew 4 lines. Some of them were small and some of them were large. This is how the Universal Product Code became a reality. But there were a couple of hurdles that he couldn't overcome at the time. Computers at that time were large and bulky. Can you imagine those in a supermarket? By the time you put those in there, you're not going to have enough room for the food. And they needed a lighting system that would not only read the barcode, but would turn that code into something a computer would understand. They didn't have that either. Well, we fast forward to the year 1960. Okay? And we meet a man by the name of Theodore Maiman. Theodore Maiman. Okay. Now this guy created the first light amplification by stimulated emissions of radioactive device. There's a fancy name. That name will be in the description box of this video, so you won't have to look that up. This would solve the light issue that Mr. Woodland was trying to fix, but even then, computers were simply not capable of processing all those barcodes. Finally, in the late 1960s, the Kroger company, yep, that company, decided to take a chance on the invention of Mr. Woodland. But the first barcodes were round, not square. And many companies refused to embrace the new barcode concept. Well, a lot of them couldn't even afford a computer at that time, and those computers were still kind of bulky. This was, of course, until the International Business Machines Corporation stepped in. The man behind the square barcode was none other than Mr. George Laurer. There you go, George Laurer. Okay. Now there were stipulations to the creation of these new barcodes. These barcodes were only allowed to have 10 digits. They could not be any larger than 1.5 square inches, and they had to be read quickly. Okay, so you couldn't just hold the barcode over the scanner for a lengthy period of time. You had to read it super quick. So Mr. Laurer finally came up with a barcode that could meet all of these criteria, and I have links to all these stories down here in the comments section, not the comment section, but the description box below. The real question is how these barcodes actually work. That's kind of complicated. I'll try to do my best to explain how they work, but we'll let you do some more research on this. Every product you buy at most retailers have a square barcode attached to it. Of course, I have to state that there are some businesses that don't, and Hobby Lobby happens to be one of them. Okay? And there's a reason for it, and I'll have to explain that in a future video. Okay? These barcodes are called the GTIN12 barcodes. The acronym GTIN12 stands for the Global Trade Identification Number. Okay? A subset of these GTIN numbers, okay, is the Universal Product Code A number. This is the number most retailers use at their point-of-sale terminals. Okay? And you've seen these every time you pick a product up. You see these barcodes. Matter of fact, there's a barcode right there. Ta-da! Okay. Now, these 5 digits here, in this particular case, it was 39277. You see the 39277? Well, they represent the company that created this product. The final numbers, 37070, represent the number of the product itself. The last number over here is what they call a check digit. Okay? Now, there is a fancy algorithm, and you can look this up for yourself, that helps the computer generate a check digit for each barcode. You're welcome to look up this algorithm and see how it works for yourself. I'm not going to go any further with this, but now you got it. Alright, so now you have the complete history of the Universal Product Code and how they actually work. I will tell you more in a future video, so I'd like for you to stay tuned.